Hello everybody, welcome to Knights of Honor 2 Sovereign. Now this game is quite an interesting game. It's a bit like Total War, it's a bit like Crusader Kings, but it's not like either one of them. Crusader Kings and all spin-offs, like the EU games and so forth, have a rather confusing engine. I never could get my head around them. I don't know what's going on there. It's not a natural way of me playing strategy games. So I own them, but I don't play them. This one does make sense. It's got all the elements that you expect, diplomacy, battles and things like that, and city building. And so it can be compared to the campaign map of Total War, but it is very, very different indeed. Now, the maps, when you actually go into the actual proper live battles, the maps are a bit simple. So they're not as good as Total War. I wouldn't describe it. I don't even use the campaign maps, the actual map battles, because they strike me as a bit boring and a waste of time. But in every other way, this is quite a good campaign map, and I think it beats Total War in a lot of different ways. Partly because I always liked these borders, kind of aspect of things. And medieval Total War 1 had them. You just went from there to there suddenly, right? But all the rest of them kind of removed them. And this is a kind of marriage of the two. It's like Total War 1 and Total War 2 maps combined. They walk all the way across, but they clearly define boundaries and things like that. It's just much preferred. Now, I've got this guy here. He's currently trying to improve relations with Denmark. Now, to give you an example of the kind of diplomacy, Denmark was an ally. But if I click up here, you will notice, whilst it's listed as a friend, it actually has a defensive pact against me. In other words, it's afraid I'm going to attack it. Now, that only happened after I made a non-aggression pact with England. Now, Denmark wanted me to attack England and wanted me to attack Friesland. Here, I think it's Friesland, yeah. So I have been attacking it, but every time I came close to capturing the city, Denmark would make peace and the city would stay in their hands. That's happened 2 times now. So I've given up attacking that with Denmark. If I attack that now, I'll do it on my own. Now, each city can be upgraded. You start with 4 slots you can upgrade, then you've got to pay to unlock the rest of the slots. That one's 2,000, that one's 4,000, that one's going to be 6, I'm guessing, and that one's probably going to be 8. But you get to build all these. Now, once you've built a building, you can also click on the various upgrades and upgrade these. So the buildings at the end of it, upgrades to the buildings can also be done. So that one there technically represents 7 upgrades. This one here represents 4. Like there, with 5,000, I can build schools. This one here, it improves various things. So that one improves the siege battles, and this one improves the training ground. But something to remember is that one there is only upgraded once. I've got another building somewhere up here that has the same thing. There it is. They get the unlocks too. You only unlock it once, and all buildings in the Empire that are similar get it as well. Down here, for instance, I've got the harbour. The dock said needs to be unlocked. For that, I need 2,300 gold. That would increase food. That would increase trade. This is your trade up there. That's your food. Why is food important? Good question. I'm glad you asked. If we go down here and we click on there, you will see the upkeep in the bottom corner of that window that just opened says free food if I buy one of those. If I go to these, it's peasants, it's 1. If I go to a horse, it's 2. If you go to anything bigger, like some of these guys, it goes high as 5. When you get like a crusade to the Holy Land or anywhere else, some of them troops are really expensive when it comes to food, and they require an awful lot. So you need food for your armies. You cannot build an army without your food. Now, if I was to click on this guy, he's currently defending Torino. Torino, if you look down here, is a -7 stability because we have different cultures. I need to get one of my guys to increase the culture down there. Okay, let's take on another cleric. We're going to give him some skills now. Culture, that's an important one. Stability, that's an important one. I'm guessing I've run out of books. Each skill has a certain price to pay, 180 bucks. I've got 130, so I can't do more than that with him right now. But once them books go up there, I can add more skills to him. Now what we're going to do now, bolster culture. We're having bolster our culture in our empire. And that means it'll make it stronger, make it less likely for these guys here, to complain about us occupying their town, because they will slowly convert over to our culture. Now this guy here, he could, well, he's got bargains there, but he's got negotiation skills, stuff like that. So I use him to negotiate with other powers. As he gets better, he'll get more and more stars here, and he'll be more efficient. The king here was quite young when I installed him. Well, when he became king, so he's got some good powers already, good things already, and he's getting better by the year. Eventually, he will die, and one of his spouses will take over. Now, this is the king. That's his wife. He hasn't got any kids right now, right? Well, he has, but he hasn't got any grown-up kids. And these here, these are the traditions. These apply to the whole family line. So I get a learning tradition, I've got laws, I've got negotiation, infantry tactics, strategy, logistics, which helps because your army needs to be fed. If your army can't be fed, then they'll starve to death on the campaign trail. And here you've got courtesy, which increases the kingdom influence and cultural power. If I click down here, you'll see all the others. I can unlock these in order to increase bonuses the whole kingdom gets. And it doesn't matter which king we have, we keep these traditions. But you've got to pay for them. Now that's quite expensive with 6,700 gold and 900 bucks. If I go to him and I click on that, you can see some of the better troops require more food. So when you run out of food, you can't build any more armies. Various things can influence how much food you've got, including corruption. Now, corruption is basically a measure of this up here. If you're looking at here, you click on that, it will move it along one. But things that affect this, like deaths of kings, will drop it back down. Right now, I've got a bonus of 3% tax income, plus 9 on espionage defence, and plus 8 on stability, because they've got the king's good. That's high, but it did drop as far as that. It did cause a few problems in the nation. I've got lots of prisoners here. Some of these prisoners I can set on missions. If I clicked on this guy here, for instance, I could send him to an enemy nation and have him act as a rebel army in that nation, causing them problems, which I'll probably do once I get the money up. Same with all these, or you can execute them or just release them. And then we've got defensive pacts against us. These used to be our allies. Signing a defensive pact with England has changed that status. So clearly they don't like, us having a defensive pact with England. We've got a defensive pact against England. So there with Denmark, but they've got a defensive pact against us. So diplomacy is complicated, as you can see. Now, the only problem with this game is you do get lots of messages, even on slow speed. You get lots and lots of messages, and they pop up constantly. I've turned the sound down so you can hear me talk, because you wouldn't get a word in edgeways otherwise. But anyway, you can upgrade your nations by upgrading the buildings, taking on new traditions, giving your characters here various bonuses. Like, if we wait till that goes up high enough, I could increase this guy's skill set a bit more. Probably rhetoric, actually. There we go. Increase it by rhetoric. Can we... no, I need 180. We've only got 30 for that. But that's going to increase his chance of boosting culture and religion as well. Strength for now. See, that's a bonus. Now, we've got extra, piety now from that mission I sent my cleric on. And if we now go to here... You notice the gold drops when we do these missions. Now that's the nation they're talking about. They're always at war with themselves. Here we've got my nation, Norway, and here we've got Sweden. And down here we've got Denmark, and they're traditionally my allies along with Poland. So I'll probably have to end my non-aggression pacts with England. But I needed that with England because, well, not an aggressor, I need to be on friendly terms with England because I'm already at war with this nation down here, and it's massive. It's got loads, it's controlling loads of areas, and I don't really want to be attacking it, on my own. So I need an aggression and a pact against them, to be honest. Now, if we actually go to the king here, you can see he's quite young. He's leading an army, so if I click on that, we can see his army down there. We move him into a town, it helps defend the town, but the army that's already in there will get kicked out. Sometimes you get little flags like that. That represents an army in the field, but it's a mercenary army you can hire from there. Basically, you just see more troops you can buy. We just speed that up a bit so we're not waiting too long. These upgrades here appear on the map as you upgrade your town. So if you build here, for instance, these things, you get more resources around here. It represents basically, your income and your economy. Now, if I just click on there, you see they're the troops I can buy. These are all the high-end ones, but they're also quite expensive. And that one's a heavy spearman. Like, I could get rid of the heavy spearman here, but he's quite advanced. I don't want to get rid of the advanced one because he's got lots of experience. Click on that. This guy hasn't got any, so we'll get rid of that. And we'll buy one of them. There you go. I've now got an upgraded spearman for that army. Okay, now some of our lands are ungoverned. Now we've got to find who isn't governing anything. It's probably one of the new guys, probably him. Click on that and look for the gap. Give him to Hanover. He will now govern in Hanover, and that will give us a bonus in Hanover, which would increase some of these stats here. We don't have the money for an uprising, but we could have caused one there. But if we actually wait long enough, so let me think about it, means it'll stay down here as an option, right? If I click on that guy there, anything that's currently active or can be activated appears there. So if you click on your messages there and you decide to think about it, then it'll stay listed until you're ready. Sometimes there's a timeout. Now that one there, for 900 I could have them burn the food reserves. So let me think about that. Now we're nearly there, so if I was to click on that, find one I can afford, 1300, there you go, 2000, okay, let's go for that one. It's got 74 chance of success for me. We wanted to go to Friesland and just cause some trouble. Then release a prisoner, he'll appear in there he is, look right there. He will now go sacking all these areas, weakening the nation. There you go, that's the message about it. And basically he'll try and conquer that town. But as he goes around doing all of this, he will slowly get stronger and stronger and stronger. Hungary invaded Brennan. There we go, look. See, well, this is the action. We're about to see a battle. I don't know, stick him in the woods, because I don't know which direction he's going to go in. He's got 2 massive armies there. 3 massive armies. 4 massive armies. This is the result of the war, right, or the various things, probably because I made a deal with England. Oh, there we go, he offers peace. Okay, I'll take that. That was the big one. That's weird. Where are they going? They're attacking England, aren't they? Right, now, these have been in battle now, so sometimes you've got to top them up. If we click on there and there, we can top these guys up. Same with these guys. Right, and if these guys want to be topped up, we've got to move them into a town and do the same again. See there, look, it's just topped up the supply, the logistics, so we're good to go there. We do really need to top up, well, improve our army strength though. Some of these armies actually have knight infantry. Okay, get rid of that. There we go, should have enough now. There we go. Now he'll be a lot better as infantry. It also cost us more to replace him as well. So we're slowly upgrading our troops. Anyway, as you can see, it's quite a good little game. And if it wasn't for these constant messages bombarding me all the time, it wouldn't be so bad. Rebellion spawned. Oh, here we go. We've got rebellion. Now these guys spawn here because of this. I'll just show you quick. Right there, minus 30. Don't know why it drops down to minus 30 suddenly, but it does. They're currently attacking this, but we've got an army there because of that. So what we'll do is we'll send the army against there. They will now help defend that. The number of their troops, defending troops, goes up. The defending troops go down. When we win, our nobles should enjoy it and like it. So we've got that. Prince was born. Let's have a look. Make him a diplomat. Rebels. Castle defended. Okay. Now, send it back there. You see the little bit of red? That's the attrition caused by the battle. We just go to here. If we've got enough of these guys here, you click on that, and click on that, and we restore them, just like that. So, all sorted. Over time, though, you need better troops, better everything, upgrade the army. And don't forget, the wheat is what you spend to hire troops and maintain troops. See, that improving our relationships, helps stop them declaring war on us all the time. This does look like they're at war with England right now, and Hungary as well. So we're the only ones at peace. If I was to now attack Denmark or Sweden, they wouldn't be in a position to defend themselves. So now would be a very good time for me to actually do something nefarious. So I've created an invasion plan for Sweden. Now here's the thing, right? If I click on that, this area here, if you conquer this area here and these two regions here, the old kingdom that existed can be recreated and your name changes from Norway into the name of that new kingdom. Same with Russia. If you go from Muscovy, which is the name when you're running the Russians here now, if you conquer the whole area Russia's supposed to occupy, it changes to Russia. Which I find is kind of nice because it gives it a historic element. But I would say the diplomacy side works quite well because you get culture, right? Like, for instance, right here, happiness and everything else, whatnot. I don't know if culture is measured actually, but basically it says you get the culture of a nation affects how often you're going to get, rebellion. So you can send your men to improve cultures. You can improve your relationships with various nations. You build up armies, stuff like that, improve the troops, improve the towns. You can basically control almost every element in the game, directly or indirectly, through either your men, your towns, missions. So you can change things. And as you can see, look, I can provoke a war here, say between Friesland and Norway. A lot to think about that one. So basically, I don't just go and attack them, I make them declare war on me. That is Knights of Honor Sovereign, and it's quite a good game. There's an awful lot to it. I would say it is one of the more interesting strategy games that I've seen in a long time. And just to point out, you do get vassals, and there's my vassal. Right, I'm going to leave it there and hope you enjoyed the video.